micro, small, and medium-scale enterprises in Ghana contribute about 70% to the nation's gross domestic product and make up about 92% of all businesses. Yes. Now, this represents the largest industrial sector in the industrial landscape, and these businesses are among the worst impacted by the COVID-19 pandemic. So whilst the situation may look dire, it may also present an opportunity to unlock the potential of these businesses. Joining me for a conversation ahead of the International MSME Day, which will be marked globally tomorrow, is Enes Ama, his country director for Impact, a German-based accelerator. Good to speak to you this afternoon, Enes. So we've talked a lot about the impact this COVID-19 pandemic has had on small businesses, but I guess this is also opportunity to unlock their potential.
Exactly, Daryl. And once again, thanks for having me on your show. When you look around Africa, you will see that MSMEs account for over 80% of employment in the African region. So you can clearly see that in the employment narrative, these MSMEs are doing very well. What they only need is some support from government, which is to create an enabling environment that will enable more young people to build enterprises. And we need government to focus on building this enabling environment. So as you rightly said, we have COVID-19, yes, with us, but we have to interpret it as the big opportunity, because if you look at history in itself, you see that some of the great innovations that we are having stem from problems, from challenges, from inconveniences that people thought couldn't be fixed. But some people decided that there was an opportunity here, and they had a different understanding of what some people were seeing to be problems. They saw it to be opportunities. And through that, we have very, very huge enterprises out of that. So definitely, this is an opportunity, and we have to set our mind to what enterprises and businesses that we can create out of the COVID pandemic.
And there's talk of an economic recession all over the world, here in Africa, even here in Ghana. So how significantly do you think that a robust SME sector would be in mitigating the impact of an economic recession, for that matter? I'm not too sure Enes can hear me. Can you hear me, Enes?
Well,
great.
If you look at it, if you look at it from a dispassionate policy angle, it will. Hi, Daryl. Yes, I can hear you. Yes. So I was in Africa, and if you are reading all these reports about us, you might get the impression that we are disadvantaged, and the situation over here is going to get worse. But I have a different view. We have been used to very severe hardships. We have been used to very severe and all manner of crisis. So we are better groomed for situations like this. We have the requisite resilience to be able to weather this COVID-19 pandemic. The reason why I'm saying this is, if you look at the whole world, we tend to have the lower to basic public goods like roads, accessible water supply, and even you look at the nature of agricultural farming and everything, there is a lot of catch-up we have to do. These are all opportunities, and I believe that the COVID pandemic is pushing us harder to confront these realities that we've lived with for some years. And the only way we can solve some of the problems that is facing us is private enterprise, private creativity, and private ideas. And that's what we need to encourage.
Okay, final question to you, if you can do it in a minute. So we've discussed a lot about the support for SMEs. We've seen the MBSSI start disbursing monies to some of these businesses. What more can be done?
What more can be done is we have to start fixing the structural lapses, the issues that we have that makes it difficult for entrepreneurs in Ghana to grow and to expand their businesses. So I'm happy seeing the work that we are doing in the area of the Rent Act and in terms of making it more effective. We still have a lot of work to do in terms of making credit easily accessible to entrepreneurs and trying to whittle down the collateral requirements so that it becomes easier for people to access needed capital to grow their businesses. The other point that I would like to make is we also have to improve our infrastructure. We need to have really good roads and to also work on improving our public transportation system to mitigate the traffic problems that we have here in Accra.
All right. Thank you so much, NS Ama, Country Director, German-based Accelerator Impact, joining us with some thoughts as we look ahead to International MSME Day. My next guest is a small business owner, Mamefoa Tando. I hope we have her. She's founder and creative lead of Love Ankara, which is an African print fashion startup. Mamefoa was running this business for a while. She took a break and decided to take it up again just when the pandemic started. So great to have you, Mamefoa Tando. I don't think you were anticipating COVID-19 to become a global headache when you decided to restart your business. But tell me what thoughts were running through your head as you were restarting your business, I should say, during this time.
Okay, so for us, I think just like everybody else, we had quite grim expectations of what the future held for us. As you rightly said, we were coming back into the market. We are launching new products, and we're pretty excited. And then COVID-19 came up, and we're like, okay, what do we do? So for us, we had to quickly pivot and sort of build a very robust and resilient plan in a very short period of time. So we had to quickly think, what do we do? How do we safeguard the health of our workers, but also how do we stay afloat in this very uncertain time? So that's basically what we did. We've tried to stay lean since we began. So we continue to do that. We also stockpiled on essential materials that we needed for our business, which was really critical for us. And we just waited it out to see what the responses will be. Obviously, for us, we had to also show that we cared about alleviating this virus, this pandemic. So we had to adapt quickly and produce new products like masks and our face shields. I'm not wearing mine now. So these are some of the masks that we've been producing. We've also made Ankara face shields to also do our bit in supporting the country fight this.
Okay. Speak about mask. I always have my mask with me. It's become an essential commodity now. And so tell me about your experience. I mean, you started, what was your anticipation? How has it been during this time? It's been 3 months of the pandemic.
In the beginning, as expected, there was a slowdown on spending. Most people were asked to be at home. We had the government directive, the country's directive. And so spending was low, demand was low. But then as we began to produce new products for the market, like the masks and the shields, there was an increased response again. For our ballerinas is something that has always had a good demand. So we did continue to supply those, even though we have a new collection coming up. But the response from the market, from our consumers, from our customers for our new product has been overwhelming. And that is what has kept us afloat.
So how do you hope to survive these challenging times? And what support do you need?
Sorry, what was the last part? I didn't hear that.
How you hope to survive these challenging times? What support you need, essentially?
Well, I think every entrepreneur needs funding at this point, really. So yes, we have applied for some funding. Government and BSSI COVID-19 alleviation program. We have applied for that, and a few others are in the pipeline. Aside funding, we really are doing our best to stay afloat. Like I said, we are staying lean as much as possible. Manufacturing in this country, in this environment, is already quite challenging. We haven't had as much access to some of our suppliers because of the closed borders. But we have managed with our limited resources. We have really managed with our limited resources. We are going to continue producing products that our customers need at this time. And then we'll assess the situation and adapt. Really, as entrepreneurs, that's what we do. We fight, we adapt, and we move.
Yeah, adapt. That's what you can do right now. Thanks so much, Mami Fuatando, for speaking with us. I've not forgotten your ballerinas. We'll probably buy and grab a pair for my wife.
Please do. We're waiting for you.
Great. Thanks very much indeed. Well, you're still